I'm Evelyn Rivera, and I am the owner and creator of Everett Bags of Pure Genius, genius spelled Jeanious. I have five staple styles that I showcase, basically an oversized clutch, medium-sized clutch, tote bag, fanny pack, and a fanny pack that can be thrown over the shoulder. All those can be custom made into any color, leather or denim that is requested by the customer. Everett handbags are handmade, custom made, and they appeal to all females. Females young at heart and females who are full of wisdom alike. You can dress it up or down, make it fun, make it however you want. Everything is very well thought out, from the detail, from the grommets to the zippers to the color of the leather or the denim. Everett bags make a statement and transcends your style. Everett is a fusion of passion, creativity, and distinctive fashion. And I'm enjoying that people are still enjoying them and loving them as much as I do.
Hi.
Hi there.
Hi, Evelyn. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I am great. I'm so excited to be speaking with you.
Oh, I am too. I just have to share that I've followed you for a long time when you used to do Fashion Week and all that. So when I saw your name, I was like, oh my God. Okay, so I can actually talk with her. So this is great.
Oh, I appreciate that. I really do. And of course, Evelyn, everybody needs a handbag. Every girl, every guy needs a fabulous handbag. So I'm thrilled to hear that you are doing well and doing your handbags, and especially amid this time that we're in now. Let me start off by asking you, because I want to ask you a bit about the times we're in now, but I want to start sharing so people can understand a little bit of your background. I'd like you to share a bit about that. How did you get started with your company? What was the inspiration, first of all? What led you there? And then what were a few of the practical steps?
So it came about from me working with someone who did my hair. And we're talking back in the 90s. I don't want to date myself, but back then. And she had this adorable denim clutch bag, and I was just like, oh, that's cute. And she's like, yeah, I got it from a street fair, blah, blah, blah. Cut to me just cutting up some old jeans and making bags for myself and using them and just adding like belts and little things to it. And people were like, oh, that's cute. Oh, that's cute. So the whole all that's cute turned into, oh, well, let's see how cute they can really be. So I ended up using leather and suede and adding denim to leather and making them really kind of styles that I think I would like, that actually I know I would like, and started using them and then started selling them to, friends and family. Of course, that's the first audience you usually go to, just to gauge. And as I started selling them and making them, I continued to improve on them, adding grommets. And then I ended up stumbling on the signature, what I call my signature look, just keeping the shape of the leather. So some of the leather, has their cut, they have like certain shapes on the side or whatever. So I was using those as part of like, okay, well, if I use this will be the flap of the bag. And so I started making that the signature piece, not even really cutting that shape out, just cutting around that shape. And that became my sort of inspiration. And if I'm going to go back further, my real fashion inspiration are my parents, because they came from the era of real dressing, like, the purse and the shoes and the suit and the tie and the vest and the coat and all of that, which I would like to get back to at some point. Yes.
What we used to call, what they used to call the full Cleveland.
Yes. Yes. So I love that look. I love that vintage look. As a matter of fact, unfortunately, my parents aren't here, but I have a few of my mom's bags from like the 60s, and I have some of my dad's cufflinks and things like that. So those are always been inspirations for me. And my mom was a sewer, so that's where it sort of got started.
Wonderful. So when you got started, were you doing a full-time job, and then this was something you were doing on the side?
Yes, that's exactly right. And I still have a full-time job now, but I was doing it sometimes after work and mainly on the weekends. And similar to my fellow designer Chantal, I was doing a couple of pop-up shops, and I still do, when they open up again, but was doing pop-up shops, selling some stuff online, talking to friends, walking with my actual products so people can actually see them, and matching them with outfits that, I thought they would look cute with, so that would actually kind of bring it out a little more. So so that's what I was just doing, and sort of doing a self-marketing thing myself.
Yes. So when you sell them through pop-up shops, and I find that a lot of designers, when they are starting out, too, also do the pop-up shops and the flea markets. Have you found that route to be helpful?
Yes, it was. I actually did a pop-up shop in the Village a couple of years ago, which opened me up to another audience, and I was very happy, you know, very surprised, and I'm of the mindset of trying something once. You know, you always have that fear, like, oh my God, I can't do it. I don't want to do it. It's too much. It's this. It's all the excuses that you use to not do it. And I made a promise to myself that I'm not going to do that. At least I got to try it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. At least I know I tried it. And it worked very well. I think I sold a good maybe 10 bags that one day I went there, and got a couple of orders after that. So it worked out. So it's trial and error.
Yeah. Who is your customer? What really draws your customer to your designs?
My customer is the, I want to say fashionista, but is the woman who is from, I want to say 20 years old to 80. You know, that woman who loves fashion, who's eclectic in her fashion. I'm very big on like mismatched prints and things like that, and kind of putting things from a consignment shop together with something you may get from like Macy's or something, and matching that together. I'm also big on, you know, a blouse doesn't have to be used as a blouse. You can use it as something else. So I think that is my customer, that customer who doesn't take fashion so seriously, but can have some fun with it. And you can take these bags from going to work to hanging out to just walking to the store. So that's my customer. And the age is very wide, because I've gotten compliments from younger girls. I've gotten compliments from older women, you know, so it runs the gamut. And I'm glad that, you know, people enjoy it like that.
Yes. What is the price range of your bags?
The price range is for a smaller like bag that goes onto like your hip when a belt, is from about $80 all the way up to about $450 for the larger oversized clutch leather bag.
Okay. And for this season, now we're looking at, you know, we're in the fall, which would be the buy now customer. You're looking to spring, and we're in the midst of COVID. Are there any particular bags or a particular bag that stands out?
Well, I get a lot of requests for camo leather bag. Like I have a similar one, the blue one up here, but people are very interested in camo, and now they see it comes in a million different colors. They're like, oh, can I have it in red? Can I have it in blue? Can I have it in green?
Yeah.
So that's the one that sort of stands out, and that's sort of the seasonal one that can go summer, spring, winter, fall. So that's the one I've been getting a lot of requests for. And also during the season, I bought some, because some of my bags have linings, and also like my colleague said, some of the linings can cost just as much as the leather material. But I like the contrast of that. And during COVID, as we're still in it, I started also making masks. So I started doing camo, not leather though, because you can't breathe through that. So I had to do the denim.
Although you probably would have a little market for that, but I won't say where, but go ahead.
Okay, no, I got you. So, but yeah, so I started doing sort of the camo fabric with the denim, mixing those two together, and I sold a few of those as well.
Yes. Oh, that's wonderful. So here we are in a moment when, if it's one thing that is really a throughway through fashion at this moment, and will continue to be one of the major, let's say macro even trends, it is sustainability. And here you are with this collection, which you started over 10 years ago, because we're not going to go there exactly, but you've been doing this. You're ahead of your time in terms of doing recycling, upcycling. Talk to me about how someone who was a trailblazer in this area now finds themselves in the midst of a lot more interest, or at the very least, it's being talked about a lot more than it was before. So how has that impacted you and your business on different levels, from sales to being able to start a conversation to attracting a different kind of customer, perhaps?
I would say, if anything, it's helped, because I think people, especially now, people are very interested in the recycling and how you're using materials. And one of the things I'm actually looking into is learning more about like vegan leather and those sorts of things, because I'm constantly looking at, you know, what's new and what's happening, and learning about those things and being able to talk about those things. I think people are like, oh, okay, so she's on that pulse. So I continue to try to stay fresh around that. And if I don't know, I'll ask people. Like, so Bada has been really big with, networking and talking to people about some trends like that. So I think it has helped. And I think I continue to do that. Like, I've gotten, especially with jeans, people are like, oh, I can't fit these jeans anymore. I'm gonna send them to you. So I'm like, that's great. So I can make them work. So I think that is definitely, where we're going to continue to go. And I will continue to, learn more about that with leather pieces, and however I can, add that to my business, I will.
Oh, that is fantastic. Speaking of adding to your business, do you see a time where you might extend your offerings in terms of segments? So now you're doing bags.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, there's an interest in upcycling in every area of fashion. Could you see yourself
Mm-hmm.
doing extensions?
Well, I have been thinking about home design stuff, because I wouldn't say I love to shop. I do like it. I don't love it as much as I used to, but I love unique things. And I've been thinking the last couple of years of expanding to home design, and that would be pillow covers or leather trim napkins or placemats or things like that. So those are the things I've been thinking about expanding into.
And would you also be using recycled materials, or would this?
Yep. For sure. I would even sort of try to find a way to mimic a bag. If I had a placemat and put a denim pocket on it or something like that, kind of put a little inspiration from the bag onto that. But I would definitely keep the recycling materials and doing that for sure.
Yeah, wonderful. What has been the most effective way to reach your customer over the years?
Mm-hmm. The most effective has been word of mouth, really. Like I said, using my own product. So when someone sees that, and I have also a gym rat, so I have a good amount of people that I talk to in the gym when you do classes weekly and all that. So word of mouth is big. Yeah. Also Instagram has also helped a lot. I have a Facebook
selling
page.
on Instagram, or only promotion?
I'm promoting, but I'm selling if someone reaches out to me in that way. I'm also have my website, but I think there's a couple of bags on my website that have sold, but I'm in the process of updating my website so it can be a little bit more so people can purchase, because a couple of bags that are in those pictures have been sold. So I want to update that, but they can reach out to me via Instagram at any point, because a lot of requests I get are, oh, I like that bag, but I want it in a different color, or I want it in just denim, I want it in whatever. So a lot of times they reach out to me anyway. So so I think in social media has helped. I think word of mouth has also been the biggest thing. Even during COVID, I've had a couple of Zoom calls, because we're doing that now. And I was on a call with some friends for a birthday party, and one of her friends, she was like, "Oh, Evelyn makes bags." She's like, "Let me see." And I was like, "Hold on." Showed her the bag. She's like, "I want one." So
Excellent.
Yes.
Did that make you think about perhaps doing some little Zoom shopping parties?
I'm thinking about it. I'm a little zoomed out because of my day job. We do meetings all the time, but I'm thinking about how to creatively do that. And I wouldn't even mind doing it with some of my fellow designers, if there's a way for us to collaborate and do a Zoom party and showcase our products and see who bites. I think that's great.
Yeah, I think that's wonderful too. The idea of collaborating and joining forces. We're in one of the most unprecedented times ever, Evelyn, and you've been in business for a while, and so you've seen a few things. You've been through a few things. How has being in the moment of COVID and social justice movement, the upheavals that we're having, how has that made you think about your business? Are there particular things that it's made you think about, and are there particular things that you are doing differently in the last 6 months?
Well, it's definitely made me think about a lot of things, because it's been a lot, personally, as well as just what we see out here. And I have to say, thinking about my business, like, it actually was an outlet for me to bring me peace. I started making masks, like I said, to sort of help in that respect. As far as the social justice, I actually did a not protest so much, because I'm supposedly in the high risk category, so I can't be out there. But I did a social justice bike ride with a friend of mine, where I used one of my bags, and it wasn't about the bag so much about just being out there. So I just felt like I needed to do something. So it has made me think about, how do I want to make an impact, and how do I do that through my business or myself, but I know I just can't sit around and do nothing, especially after the debacle we saw last night on the debate. So I was like, I have to, I have to do something. I have to make an impact. I want to be able to definitely support my people in whatever way that is. So I'm still figuring out what that will be, but I know it's going to be helping my people in some way, shape, or form.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. When you look to 2021, are there things or plans that you have for the business that you're thinking, here's what I'm going to have to do or would like to do? Could be a positive opportunity. Would like to do when this is over.
Yes,
it's going to be over.
Oh, that's right. You just spoke it out there. It sure is. It definitely is going to be over. I'm going to continue to promote. I think I'm going to, as I said, update my website, and then actually start branching out into the home decor piece. Start making a couple of pieces and seeing what those look like, and showcase that and get that out there.
Mm-hmm. So, how do you think that customers are, because you're in touch with your customer, you're in touch with people who you would like to be your customer. How do you think that customers are reacting to COVID, both pros and cons, in terms of shopping for fashion?
Well, I think that it has slowed down a bit because I think people's priorities have changed because situations have changed. People have lost their jobs. Living situations have changed. So, for me, like I actually have made a couple of bags for people during this time, but with that, I may give them a bit of a price break. And some of it has been some fanny packs that I started making because those are functional. You can use that anytime. So I've been, talking to them about pricing. I'm like, look, I can make this for you for X amount. You know what I mean? So I'm trying it that way because, again, people's priorities have changed dramatically. Or, if it's someone that I really know, it's a really good customer, I'm like, look, if you want this, we'll talk about price later. Let me just get you this. If this is what's going to make you happy, if you need this as a gift for someone or whatever your reasoning is. So I'm trying to work with people around that and not make it so like, well, this is my price and I need that, we got to work together here. And I want to also keep my customer and I want my customers to be able to tell other people about my business. So that's my way of doing customer service for them.
Oh, wonderful. Are you finding that most of so I'm assuming you're saying your business has slowed a bit amidst COVID. Mm-hmm. COVID is allowing you, or you're taking the opportunity to really connect with the customers.
Yes.
Are you finding that you're doing more business and there's more potential in customers who have bought from you already? Or are you finding more potential and putting more emphasis on getting new people into the funnel, top of the funnel?
I think I'm finding those who have been customers already or those who I have spoken to about, I make these bags and now they're like, I'm ready to have one. So I think it's sort of people who I've already known and spoken to. Yeah. Not so many new so much just yet. But I know I'll get there. I'm going to continue to just do what I've been doing, putting myself out there, continue networking with people. And I know that will grow. The new customers will come.
How do you find if you do, the challenge of being a Black designer? You are very much, one of the wonderful things about what you've done is you've very much been in touch. You are the direct to consumer, right? Brand. And as you probably know, a lot of designers now who've not been that are taking a look at that business model, right? So was there a point at which you were trying to get into retailers and you found it difficult, or you are in a couple, or you never did that? Talk to us a little bit about that experience and your views on that.
Sure. I actually did try. I know, I believe it was not Bergdorf Goodman, it was the other one, Bendel's. Henry Bendel's that used to have the open sort of, I want to say open mic thing, but the open, designer call. And again, one of those, let me just try and see what happens. And I felt like didn't get my design. I also felt like the person interviewing me was 10 years old and stuck to the script of, oh, we're looking for a bop, 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 bop. If you don't fall in that line, then we can't. Yeah. I'm not looking beyond that. So
there wasn't an I.
Exactly. So that made me say, okay, why don't I work on my craft more? Let me just do the festivals and the pop-up shops and see how that progresses. And then I'll shoot for maybe the retail down the line. And it may not even be in a store. It might be a smaller store. It might be, I've tried consignment shops. I put a couple of bags in consignment just to say, hey, when that sells, let me know. So that has worked sometimes. So I'm trying some of the smaller shops first and seeing how that works for me. And then I'll see how the retail goes if I go that route again.
Okay. All right. Wonderful. Well, one last question. I'd love to know, just to share with us briefly, what you hope to accomplish in 2021 for your business, because we want to support you in that.
Oh, I appreciate that. Well, I hope to accomplish, definitely continue making the bags that I've been making, learning more about the materials that I'm using and those that are more environmentally safe. As I said, I want to branch out and start making some home products. I'm going to do a little test around that and see how those come out and continue to just move forward in that. And if this becomes a business that sustains me where I don't have to have my day job, then that's a blessing for me. And I just put it out there. So God, I hope you're listening. You know, we'll see what happens. So, but I'm going to continue to move forward with it.
Thank you, Evelyn. We hope to see an Everett handbag on every shoulder and every hand and around every hand.
Yes. Thank you.